What's up, Internet? Welcome back to some more Fire Emblem Warriors, and this time we're going to be finally looking at a leveling guide. Thanks to the new DLC that dropped last week, it is now easier than ever before to level up your characters, which is just as well because, as you guys probably know by now, it is possible to level down characters to level 1, which in turn gives you materials that'll make filling out the crest charts that much more easily. Now, the nice thing about this DLC is that not only does it give us Galeforce, which lets us stay in Awakening mode for that much longer, letting us have more bonus experience, it also comes with the experience check restriction. For those of you guys that don't know, experience check increases the damage dealt by enemies, but it also increases the experience that they give us. This means that by going to the highest level map that you can and grinding that out, you're going to reach level 100 really quickly from level 1. In fact, actually, this particular map that we're going to be using right now is the one that I have been using for all the DLC characters. And the thing about this too is that I've actually been timing myself. Assuming that you are using Camilla with the Galeforce build that I had in the previous video, combining that with Paragon for the person you want to level, as well, you're going to be using the Temple Blessing, you actually can reach 1 to 100 in about 8 runs. Each run is about 7 minutes long, so that would be like 56 minutes, but then taking into account things like load screens and blessings and all that, it will probably something like maybe 71 minutes in total. That's still really fast, all things considered. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of a test run. You go over and head over to the temple, and hey, speak of the devil, here is Camilla with us right now. Yes, I know, it's going to be another Camilla video, but do you know what? I'm going to stop doing Camilla videos when Camilla can see her toes. Alrighty, so here is the elite blessing. This will increase the amount of experience earned. When you begin from level 1, you're actually going to level up your character, like maybe 35 to 39 times. It's really crazy, and of course that will slow down over time, but honestly, in all honesty, you would only need to reach level 100 anyway, just to suit your purposes when you're making a build. And if you want to take it a step further, then obviously you would just run them just a couple more times through this particular level, and that's going to be that. So before I actually begin the battle, I just want to take a look at this map. What makes this map so ideal is that this is an ally rescue. This means that every ally is marked down on this map, and they are super surrounded by all these enemies. The thing about Galeforce is that it really shines in these kinds of maps where there are plenty of captain enemies to help you maintain your gauge. And if ever it does come to the point where you do need to refill, what you can do is go to either this fortress at the north, or you can go to the ruins forts all the way on the left side. The reason why you want to do this is because there are jars that contain awakening bottles, so that's really fun stuff. What we're going to do is that we want to have all the experience for ourselves, so we're going to make sure that everyone else is going to be stationed away, and the person we are going to be training today will be none other than my boy Owain. He actually doesn't have a Paragon right now. I could assign that too, but you know what? We're going to be doing just fine because I just want to show you guys how this works. You give him the Paragon and the Blessing, you are going to level up at least. By the time you reach like level 80, you'll probably level up 4 or 5 times per run. It's really fast. And obviously we're not super optimized right now because he doesn't have the Paragon, but still, we still can make use of it. So go ahead, pair him up with Camilla. For those of you guys that didn't see that Galeforce video, essentially my build is going to be just a mixture of all the different offensive based skills. And I'm going to quickly take off Lone Wolf because she doesn't need it right now. So here we go. Switch out the Lone Wolf for... We could go for the Trample, Lethality, and Awakening if we wanted to. I feel like Lethality would have a little bit more payoff to it, but it is a little bit random. So you know what? Let's go ahead and run with Awakening this time. I think Lethality would be a little bit more damage, but Camilla's luck isn't necessarily that high, so that is what we're going to be running with today. The weapon builds that you guys already saw on the Camilla video that I did earlier this week is going to have a critical plus. This means that our critical hits will do just a little bit more damage. Again, if you want, you can run the Lethality just to help ensure those hits, but I have been doing this particular fight using Lone Wolf on a character that's already paired up, and we were still able to get things done in record time. So as soon as the battle begins, you want to quickly just start building up your warrior gauge while you still can. You'll notice that Owain's going to start leveling up fast because he was almost leveled up last time. I want to make sure that I can have at least 1 warrior gauge before I can start engaging these guys over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to coax them into the fortress to make sure that I can get all 3 of them at once. Once I do, I'm going to gather them all together and have Owain be tagged in. And hopefully that should actually get a white stun gauge for everyone that's here. So here we go. And, okay, that's going to be 2 out of the 3, that's fine. I don't mind spending a little bit more time for this person. If you want, you can actually have a partner with Draco Slayer. They're going to do a substantial amount of damage, assuming that they're level 1, it shouldn't kill anyway. And that should be fine overall. So you do need a minimum of 3 in order to reach the threshold for activating your warrior gauge in the first place. Thankfully, because we are using Camilla, she has incredible damage thanks to the new skill that Owain brings to the table. We're going to kind of clear out these guys just fine. So I'm gonna head just spam my regular attacks like usual, and here we are. Just juggle him for a bit, and there we are. Now that we're at the threshold, my plan is going to be taking out the fortress in the middle. After I take out this fortress, I'm going to start cleaning my way up, starting by heading to the right, and then working my way up, and then back down to where the remaining 2 allies are. So immediately we're going to activate this. I'm going to feel free to just kind of take out as many enemies as I can, because remember, once you have all the bonuses, or whenever you gain a bonus rather, you will get a refill for your Awakening Gauge, so I'm not too worried about it right now. Okay, so I'm going to spam just a little bit more. The nice thing about landing with critical focus and then landing your body slam attack on someone with a yellow stun gauge is that you're going to activate it immediately. That's going to be very providential, because remember, when you're doing the sort of critical strikes, you're going to be immune from the effects of draining your warrior gauge, or sorry, your awakening gauge for the entire duration. So that's something that you want to do just to stall for time, kind of give yourself time to clear your head. Like I mentioned earlier, the average run takes about 7 minutes, and for me, it took me about 8 runs of 7-minute clears of this particular map. So depending on how your speed is, depending on how well built your Camilla is, you can use Minerva. Minerva is definitely a substitute that you would use for something like this. Okay, I'm going to quickly focus on this for a second. I'm going to, as soon as I beat this guy, I'm going to head straight for this group over here. I'm going to target the Rowan, immediately start doing combo 5, and this should be a complete kill of the people surrounding him, giving me more meter to work with. So that's really, really good stuff. Going to sort of stall around for a bit, and then do another combo, and this should be a finish for him, just because I have that armor strike ability on me. I will put up the actual build right now, in case you guys haven't already seen it, for the weapon that Camilla is currently using. So again, we are surrounded by quite a few people. I'm not afraid to just do this, just for a little bit, give myself a little bit more of a KO count, because remember, we're here for experience more than anything, and I will also be claiming the jar of Awakening Gauge that is located inside of this particular fortress. So here we go, gonna just get a couple of more slams in. I know that a Swordmaster is going to spawn, so I'm gonna let him come to me for a bit. And off we go. I'm actually going to go ahead and do a combo 5 for this one, because I do know that he does take a little bit longer to kill in comparison to the priest. If it's a priest, you're going to do much more damage since their defenses are so much lower. So like for these particular guys, if these guys are mages, exact same story. And I'm going to work my way down. This is the route that you will want to be taking. It takes a bit of practice, but since you're doing this so often, you actually don't have to worry too much about it. And don't worry about wasting your Awakening Gauge the first couple of rounds. Ideally, you'll want to have Awakening Gauge the entire time, just so you can get the full bonuses of the experience, but there you go. Okay, so Tiki over here is surrounded by a bunch of captains. We can just go nuts with all the body slams, because these guys, not only do they drop Awakening Gauge, but every kill that we bag is going to give us some more Awakening Gauge. At least for the captains, you can't really say the same thing for the enemies. And also, there is a jar. This is a very ideal situation for us, because now we can waste even more time getting more experience for Owain over here, and just kind of getting as many experience points as we can before I head for Tiki, because there is that jar right there. If I ever get low, I can quickly just pick up that jar, and we'll be good to continue the rest of this run. So remember, I'll try to keep in mind where your resources are located too. So again, pick up the jar, and then we're going to head this priest. We have Fury Builder, so we're going to do a substantial amount of damage. It takes 2 hits to kill the priest. And now there is going to be some Manakets. It's going to be the exact same story, and if it ever turns out that these guys do an attack, the Body Slam will completely break their stun gauge from 100 to 0, meaning that we will be invincible for the duration. Will give us plenty of time. So here we are. So again, if you ever find yourself like finding these large clusters, that's why this map is so ideal. There's a large cluster of stronger enemies, so you can actually dedicate the rest of your time just building more experience. Most of the time you wouldn't be able to reach this much this soon, but that's exactly what we see here. we did waste a little bit of time. Now, this is the annoying part, because like with the rest of Fire Emblem Warriors, these are very heavily scripted in terms of how the scenarios go down. What this means essentially is that there will be times where you will wait needlessly for the gates of the captain's fortress to even open. So hopefully we will be able to reach it in time. Camilla has a little bit more speed because she is max level, so you might not be able to reach Marth in time for this one, but let's see if we can get that yellow gauge right on time. This usually doesn't happen. This was a very, very idealized run for us. Usually there would be the times where you would end up burning your awakening gauge at the door because the door is taking that long to open. That's okay though, you aren't really missing much. If you do find that Marth is becoming very tanky for you, all you can really do is just kind of play it a little bit safe, wait for these things to happen, and then punish the attacks. Or you can also spam the dual warrior gauge specials if you are training a person that has multiple gauges. Unfortunately, Owain doesn't have very many, and like I said, he doesn't even have Paragon right now, so he'd actually be leveling up a lot more if this were the case. Okay, so we are just about done. Now he's going to summon a Velisark. He will spawn in his usual spot here on the map. I'm going to quickly grab this jar and then head to the exact spot. As soon as Velisark lands, I'm going to run up to him and then press the R button, and then immediately I'm going to start mashing away on my attacks for a combo 5. Combo 5 is a guaranteed break for his attacks, and I do not want to stay in his attacks for very long, just because this is experience check. He will do tons of damage on me, and I don't want anything to do with that. So there we go. For Camilla, the main tell for when you're about to do the combo 5 is when she kind of throws her axe down, and then that's going to be your chance to actually start spamming away for your strong attacks. If you do it too late, that's okay, but make sure you don't do it too early, because that leaves you super open, which creates that giant fireball. So there we go. I did it too late, but that's okay. It's going to be a guaranteed break. It takes a couple of combos, but remember, you have full awakening gauge. You have plenty of time to get this done. And really, because of the weapons that we have right now, we're going to have no problem whatsoever. So let's see how long this run took us. Okay, so that was 7 minutes and 11 seconds. The fastest I've ever done, I believe, were like 6.5 minutes, but I don't believe my kill count was very high. The reason why it took that long was just because, it was 2,805 KOs in total. Owain has leveled up quite a bit. Again, because we didn't have Paragon, that was my fault. Sorry guys, I should have done that before. But he would have gotten a lot more. So, like in my experience though, just telling you guys from experience, before I did this video actually, I was in a voice chat talking to some of my friends, and I was just kind of tallying the amounts of runs that I've actually completed. And remember, each of these runs took 7 minutes on average, and then there took a grand total of 8 in order to reach from 1 to 101. So it could be said that like the first run, it would get you to like 40 levels at least, and this was actually pretty good too. So yeah, that's basically what it is though. There are plenty of options now in terms of how we can level ourselves up, and I'm really glad the game developers gave this to us, and this would essentially be the new method that I've been using for all the characters whenever DLC comes out. But yeah, the reason why I'm leveling up Owain, you guys, is because he is the very next showcase that you guys should be expecting tomorrow. I hope you guys look forward to it. And there's going to be plenty of Fire Emblem Warriors and also Xenoblade Chronicles on the way, just on the horizon, so I hope you guys look forward to that too. So until then, everyone take care, and as usual, I'll see you guys next time.